Okay, let's go jump to rank games with a random character and see what we're gonna get today. And it looks like we are playing the Reaper, but we do start off with a relic case as well as a freaking toad. So, what do we actually want to go for today? Well, we probably do need to start off with a sword, so we're gonna take that. The garlic as well is gonna be nice. Healing herbs I kind of want to take for some regen. Might as well grab you since you're on sale, and we probably do need this broom. And we could keep the toad, or we could get rid of the toad too. Not sure what we actually really want to get rid of right now. I want to keep the healing herbs. Toad sells for 3 will be great once we start getting some mana. Everything else, but I'm going to sell that full. So I want to go for that hero sword. And this is going to be round 1. It shouldn't be too bad for us. We do inflict a tiny bit of cold, slowing down our opponents. We get some regen to keep us a little bit more healthy. We should have a decent bit of damage. However, this Pyromancer is going to get a bit of a heal. They're going to get some buffs. And they're going to have that empower. They managed to get 2 empower. Yeah, we could be in trouble. I'm just waiting for this frying pan to smack us once. Not bad. We did manage to win out. Hell yeah. Now, Twine Badge? I'm going to take it. Right now, it doesn't do anything for us. But we have to potentially go for a big, practically large great sword. So, I'm definitely going to go for it. It will speed up our hero sword just a little bit. Let's take our storage. A little bit of a burning coal action. Might as well grab the stone, and there's no point wasting any more gold, really, is there? Let's get going. So I want to stack up as much regen as possible. Shelly will be phenomenal with Twine Badge as well. Just getting that Shelly to trigger 20% faster. So we want to keep our options open for Shelly too. But can we really beat this Berserker? Because the Battle Rage is going to get that lifesteal. And I don't think we're going to be able to. We did take a Twine Badge that doesn't do a whole lot for us. We do want to fall in shorts. What do you want to go for with a Twine Badge? I kind of want to take Piggy Pinata. Look for some piggy banks and explode them. I'm going to take this, even though we don't exactly have any piggy banks right now. That's kind of what I'm going to be looking for. And that's so much more regen. Holy moly, I'd love to take it, but we're going to roll. That's 1 piggy bank on sale. And that's a freaking Tarn Whip. We kind of need to find our Hunger Blade first. But I think we settle for it, right? I think we kind of have to. I'm glad we got at least 1 piggy bank though. A little bit more regen. We are facing double brooms. Now they're going for the Shepherd's Crook. I'm just going to submitting for dummies, which doesn't do a whole lot for him, but you got that Flame Badge. That Flame Badge is going to go a long way. They have a lot of max life actually, from all the piggy banks, damage of life, and all that max life could make them win out. And when I say could, I mean it definitely is. Definitely not ideal. However, let's get our turn up. We're going to roll. We're going to sell our broom. And we could go for piggy bank riches, but we definitely want to explode this guy. Let's take a little bit of storage, and I kind of want to take another lump of coal, but sell this gemstone to roll once more. And that's another piggy bank. I think I'm going to sell our little hero sword to actually take it though. So right now I'm just going to move on with this sort of direction. We should maybe be able to skill up some max life, hoping that at least one of our piggy banks does explode. We have 5% crit chance, and we have the potential to skill up some of our max life with our twines on our Turn Whip. But are we really going to be able to beat out this adventure? I mean, this guy is actually doing insane amounts of damage to us, and unfortunately, yeah, we're doing a falling short once again. Holy moly, we're bleeding a lot of lives. However, that's a freaking Ripsaw Blade. Katana could have been amazing too. Let's take our shiny shell, grab a bit of storage, roll again. Gloves on sale, might as well grab for now as well, and let's keep rolling. More healing herbs I kind of want to take, but I'm going to settle for some storage. Now, I'm really not sure if we're going to be able to survive this. Piggy bank's not exploding already, it's kind of cracked. And we are facing opponents which will have the heals from Goobers, but also stacking up that spikes as well. And Falcon Blade is just going to be triggering that freaking Goobert constantly. And we're going to have that little tiny bit % chance to crit. But this time around, are we going to be able to win out? Because it is neck and neck. And it just takes a few smacks from our opponent to beat us out. Hell yeah, we just barely won out. Come on, man. No explosions? Just no explosions. More storage. Fanfare we could take. Wooden sword we could hold on to. Treasure. Shelly. Do we take the treasure or do we take Shelly? I'm going to take Shelly for now. And just reserve this for now as well. Wooden sword I'm not even going to bother placing it. But Shelly is going to be phenomenal for us. And that's Dance Dragon. Holy moly, we are in trouble. Especially on the mage. With Uniquely Unique. With 25% crits. Yeah, we're cooked. We're definitely cooked. There's nothing we can do about that. That's just way too much damage. It's like we're destined to lose this round, if we're going to be honest. We could go for Tornbloom instead. Let's take our treasure. Mr. Struggles. Piggy bank too. Let's roll. Should we Pivot into Fancy Rapier, I kind of really need to. But let's roll. Now that's a Prismatic Sword. Dark Prismatic Sword? I mean, I think we kind of have to go for Prismatic Sword, right? We're kind of cooked either way. So we need the heat then as well, and I kind of wanted Toad. But we need to survive this round as much as possible. We just need one Piggy Bank Explosion, but we do finally have our Twine Badge in beside our Shelly to speed this guy up. So hopefully we can get a bit of a heal so we can remove our opponent's buffs, stack up our own spikes, and maybe win out from here. But opponents, he's getting a lot of max life. This is not looking good, man. This is definitely not looking good. We have to get rid of all the vampirism as much as possible. We are getting rid of a lot of the buffs. But with the bird, they're going to be going faster and faster. We just need to get rid of that one vampirism. They have no more vampirism. And holy moly, we might actually survive this. It's kind of looking like we are. Hell yeah. That was kind of cooked for a second, but we're going to get ourselves a Prismatic Sword. Now we could go for a Life-Stealing Prismatic Sword, or we could go for Mr. Struggles debuff stacking. We're going to be taking you. Now, Piggy Banks still haven't exploded. Are we just that unlucky? It's kind of mad, actually. Well, we're going to be taking this. Selling you as well. I did want to go for a big and practically large greatsword. We're just not finding dimes for it either. Now, we're also going to take the eye lamp because we need damage. We need that damage as much as possible. We also need this Misfortune, and all I really want to do is go for heat stacking type builds. Now, we want our Mr. Struggles basically targeting our wooden sword along with Mr. Struggles. That's kind of what we need to go for. So yeah, it's going to be targeting a wooden sword, so we get all the damage from eye lamp. Hoping that this is going to be enough, but we're going to get a Prismatic Sword in the next round, so we're going to take more dark items. And we're going to go debuff stacking from here. But we'll see. Shelly going to be going about 9 seconds, trying to heal us up, but that's a lot of flat damage coming from our opponents. And yeah, we're kind of cooked, man. No doubt about it. We're going to get a Prismatic Sword though, which could be... Okay, maybe not. One of our Piggy Banks did explode. Give us a freaking Prismatic Orb. We might be able to bring back. We definitely might be able to bring back, and that's a huge, huge might. Because we're going to take another Mr. Struggles. There's tons and tons of Mr. Struggles. We want to take Misfortune. And we got to take this Toad too. So now, with a Misfortune in, we want to be going for heat stacking most of all. Definitely so. So we do not want any more regens. We want to sell these fellas. Sell our garlic pretty much to grab ourselves this bag as well. Move those buffs even more. And pretty much... want to grab our armor and go for corrupted armor, because once we get a corrupted armor, we can just keep our debuffs on our opponents. And Mr. Struggles is going to be targeting a Prismatic Orb, Prismatic Sword with Mr. Struggles. We can keep removing those buffs. But opponent is inflicting a lot of debuffs on us. However, not bad at all. Definitely not bad. Now, what the hell are we going to take? We're probably 1,001,754% going to grab ourselves by the Holy Light. And that is a second Misfortune, which I don't think we can actually really take. I want to sell you so we can take even more storage for now as well. We need to find ourselves a Corrupted Crystal. So I'm going to keep rolling. Well, that's kind of cracked. We got our next drop. Yeah, we'll be taking all this. We're going to keep this for a Crow as well. We're going to craft up that Corrupted Armor, so we should be able... Now this could be scary because you're just going to resist all those debuffs. So we're not going to be able to inflict as much debuffs as possible. And unfortunately... that was kind of scary. I was going to say, we're actually stacking up way too much mana with Prismatic Orb. But hey, one of our Piggy Banks did explode. Giving us more healing efficiency, which is smashing. And Mr. Struggles to keep removing those debuffs is going to be amazing for us. Let's craft up a Corrupted Armor. We definitely need more heat generation because this is going to give us our mana, which is not ideal. We really want to take another fighting pack, and we also want to take Mr. Struggles as well. But yeah, let's get going. This should be really, really freaking awesome for us. As long as we get our heat stacked up, that's the main thing. But adding all this Mr. Struggles, we're just going to be constantly removing those buffs from our opponents. But our opponent is also going to be moving our buffs. However, that's a lot of debuffs stacked up. And... can we win out? Is that shit up starting to deal some big damage? Hell yeah, we can. Not bad at all. Now, speaking of amazing, that's not a Prismatic Orb. The only problem is, we're not going to be able to stack up heat if we keep stacking up our debuffs. Our Prismatic Orbs on our Prismatic Sword, but it does power up so freaking much, so we gotta take it. No doubt about it. Misfortune is gonna be a lot worse for us. So there's no doubt of us actually gonna be stacking up our mana right now, which is not ideal, but it's the way of the road. Mainly because we just want this to power up our prismatic sword so we can inflict crazy amount of debuffs, scale up our damage, attack faster, give us lifesteal, pretty much keep us alive, while we stack up those debuffs. Now we probably should place that in, but let's get going, and with our by the holy light, this is all going to be sped up as well. So this is going to be traveling at a 0.7 second cooldown, inflicting all those debuffs, and now all we need is a bunch of birds so we can just constantly duplicate our debuffs and hope we might actually not survive this. There's no freaking way, man. Are we good? Are we bringing it back? That was way too close. I was fully sure we were going to end up losing there. Our Piggy Pinata did explode, giving another Mr. Struggles, which is kind of smashing. And we could also go for Doom Cap instead of going for Crow. Because the Doom Cap would just reduce that healing even more. Should we take it? I mean, I'd rather just grab a bunch of crows, so I'm not going to take it. We'll see what this is going to give us. An Armor Life, which is kind of nice, actually. Anything else? Not exactly. Let's keep going. Doom Cap on sale. We'll probably take it with Celestone, and we'll take another one of these two, and we could go for a Poison Toad, which I have no interest in, really. And let's get going. And we are facing a life-stealing type opponents. They're going to have Broccoli Goobers, which means they're going to have luck, so their blind is going to be a bit difficult to stack up. But once we get it stacked up, they're not going to be able to hit, so if they can't hit, they can't lifesteal. And Broccoli Goobers with a Bloodthorn is kind of interesting because they're going to get lots and lots of regen. However, not bad at all. Our Prismatic Sword has finally come online. Now, Whoopertinger could be a good shout. Second, Corrupted Armor, just not allowing our opponents to get rid of those debuffs would be nice. But a Crow is what we want. And that's exactly what we're going to get. Anything else? We could take the Box of Riches to get some gemstones. Yeah, let's take it too. But let's keep rolling. And we literally went from the trenches and brought it back, which is mental. But the debuff stacking Prismatic Sword is kind of correct. Now I really need this freaking storage, so I'm going to sell pretty much all our coins to go ahead and take this. Because the Crow is going to be too good not to add in. It's going to speed up every single one of our items. It's also going to duplicate the debuffs we do inflict. And do we want this mana orb? I'm not going to lie, I'm going to hold on to it, but I haven't really been keeping track on how much mana we've been stacking up. So, we'll hold on to it in the hopes that we stack up. Holy moly, we're going to be in trouble. That's going to be so much luck. We're going to have 100% accuracy and we're going to have lots and lots of damage. We need to stack up this blind pretty darn fast because they're starting to beat us down really badly. But we're taking all their buffs. We got lots and lots of cold stacked up and we are stacking up some mana, but it's not going to be fast mana. But we're managing to get there. We managed to bring it back. And hell yeah. Not bad at all. But let's get a Crow online. That's going to be really awesome. And speaking of really awesome, that's going to be a lot of debuffs. That's a lot of healing down if you want that too. Or we just take the Mana Orb. Try the Mana Buff Bomb. I think we're just going to take the Mana Orb. But where the frick are we going to place that? Good place in here. Not a bad shout actually. Because these are going to be... They're going to be somewhat slow, but... They're also not going to be terribly bad, but I'm still going to roll. Now, we'll take a second one of these because I'm going to go for this Flag Eric. That's for sure. Into Doom Cap. Might as well hold on to a second one then, just in case we want to go for it as well, because the Doom Cap is going to go smashing for us. Now, our opponents is going to be removing our buffs with a Perfect Amethyst, which is not ideal either, but let's see if we can get our mana stacked up. Every bit of luck we're going to be using to stack up our mana, which should be amazing to get a big mana bomb, which will give us heat. Potentially, hopefully. But it is taking a long time to get that mana stacked up, so we do need to find ourselves another toad. But once we get it going, then it's going to be heat. And just till we arrive till our big mana bomb, that's going to be awesome. Now, we do have a 70 DPS. We managed to bring it back. Our opponent did have 6 DPS because we stole all their buffs and inflicted turbo debuffs on them. In terms of heals, we do have 75 healing per second, which is kind of mad. And in terms of block, 184 block. Yeah, we're going to continue on. Now, taking this Mr. Struggles could be overkill, but the faster we move their buffs, the better. But we're definitely taking this. We're definitely taking this, and we're going to craft up this Flag Eric. Now, I'm also going to take another Mr. Struggles, if I'm going to be honest. When we take this Mr. Struggles, there's going to be a lot of freaking debuffs stacked up on this Corrupted Armor. We basically have it nearly full as well. We're going to lose 5% crit chance, but that's not going to matter too much to us, if we're going to be honest. We get a little bit more heats. And I did say I wanted to grab this, but I think I might actually leave it and just roll. Now, one slot, holy item, we'll be taking it. just because we can place that in as well. Now we want to place this in so we can resist that cold. But let's definitely get going with this. Now it's going to be a blind stack of opponents, which is going to be a bit tough for us, but as long as we can get our own blind stacked up, we should be in a pretty good spot. We've got our item to scale up our accuracy as well, so we have the potential to outpace our opponents, as long as we get those debuffs stacked up. The problem is we're going to be using up our own luck, so debuff or blind is going to be really bad for us. We do get a big amount of bombs, so we should be able to go crazy from here, stacking up our heat, cleansing that blind back onto opponents, and we got a little bit of cold on them as well. And once we get our heat going as well, Prismatic Sword is going to go turbo nuts from here. That was 156 DPS Prismatic Sword, which is kind of correct. Also, god damn it, man. That's actually terrible. We really needed that Doom Cap to stop our opponent from healing up. That's a big ol' yikes, if we're going to be honest. We also lost a lot of block because of that. Well, let's roll. Divine Flask, honestly, it might not be a bad shout either. Yeah, because if opponent stacks up too much blinds, we're going to be in trouble, and that's a second breaking Demonic Flask. Well, we might as well take it, eh? Craft up this Doom Cap. About time as well. Box Riches. I think it's time we sell it, and we just keep rolling. We just keep rolling. One final piggy bank. We're not going to be taking it. That's a fully decked out corrupted armor, which is mental. Now this is going to explode and deal a lot of damage, so maybe it wasn't too bad for us in the end, because we're going to stack up a lot of debuffs. But our opponent is going to get that invincibility for 7 bajillion years, so it's going to take us a long time to actually inflict all those debuffs. However, we're just constantly moving their buffs, which is going to be nice. Now we are going to get a big bomb, but eventually we're just going to take all their buffs again, which is going to be nice. And it's not going to be close after that. Hell yeah. Not bad at all. And we got our Doom Cap online, and never mind, so we actually managed to bring it back, because we got a Corrupted Crystal once again. And that's the second crow. Now second crow would go a hugely long way. But we're going to take this little bit of storage, and we're going to take our toll. But we need to roll, and we need to figure out how the hell we're going to fit this Doom Cap in. Ideally, we'd like to place it where it can be targeted by a crow, but as it is right now, it's kind of impossible. So we could move our setup around just a little bit so we can still have a Doom Cap in this spot. I think that's probably going to be our best bet. Man Orb going to be targeting a Misfortune along with a Toad, along with Mr. Struggles as well. And I do think this is going to be the best setup we can have. Maybe. But we are facing another double Emerald Wolves with the Hyper Hedgehogs. They're going to have a lot of luck. And the Dark Saber is going to be dealing a lot of damage if they inflict a turbo amount of poison on us. But again, we could be in trouble. Never mind. We're stacking up those debuffs, no problems whatsoever. Paradise Barb is going to speed up all the items as well. They're going to be stealing our luck, which is not ideal either. But with our Divine Pot, we should be able to cleanse those debuffs, which is going to be smashing actually. And I did put 5% crit chance on our Strong Demonic Flask. So this Strong Demonic Flask could really pay off for us. With one big smash if we're extremely lucky to deal some insane damage. And that's a lot of debuffs on our opponents. And a Crow with a Prismatic Sword is kind of nasty. Definitely so. But from almost losing the whole game to going for a Prismatic Sword that just smashed out the entire endgame was madness. In terms of DPS, we did manage about a 47 DPS, not too crazy, but opponents only had a 20 DPS, they couldn't really hit us at all, since we stole a lot of their buffs. And in terms of heals, we had 46 healing per second. Our opponents, well, we did actually have 60 healing application. In terms of block, we did have about 16 block. But overall, a Dark Prismatic Sword is a insane amount of fun. I do love the Dark Prismatic Sword quite a bit. But we did survive with 2 lives left, giving us plus 19, or ranking us back up to Masters once again. Not bad at all. But I am going to have to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I hope you keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Now, can we deal some justice to our builds in some round 18 fights? We are facing an Ageless Leaf, which will be cleansing those debuffs whenever they do use up mana. But with a Corrupted Armor, we can protect a lot of those debuffs onto our opponents. So it's going to make it a lot more difficult for our opponent to cleanse those debuffs. And eventually, we're going to shut off their healing with the Doom Cap. So all in all, I don't think our opponent is really going to have a chance to be able to win out. Definitely not. And can we deal with this sort of craziness? They're going to have the Corrupted Armor, they're going to potentially get this Dark Saber to deal massive amounts of damage. And they're going to have that Poison Go over to Slime Time, as well as the Doom Cap. So we're both going to be turning down our healing on each other. But who's going to be able to stack up more debuffs on who? So we're about to get a big Venom Bomb, and from there, we're going to be stacking up way more buffs. And hell yeah, it's going to be us Not a problem. And finally, can we deal with the Cupcake, Staff, Lampin, Falcon Blade with the Ice Flower? This is going to be interesting because you're going to be stacking up a lot of buffs, you're going to get a big amount of bomb, and you're going to be trying to lamp this Falcon Blade, which is going to give it 800 damage. But you're going to use up their luck. And after that, they're literally going to have no more buffs. So we should 1,000,000% be able to win this one out. And not bad at all.